partners with you. I myself come from a small town in New Jersey. I understand the ramifications of what happens when a leading industry leaves a community. And when you can't educate your children, I know mothers are over their checkbooks figuring, how are we going to pay the rent? How are we going to pay the mortgage? How are we going to pay that car payment? How am I going to get my child to soccer practice or school? And when you can't educate your children and give that child a hope for the future, what is going to happen to that child? It's going to be drugs, it's going to be crime, and it's going to be people with no hope for the future. So I am here to tell you, as a small town girl who ended up going overseas, and by the way, we had no PPEs overseas during COVID. I had the honor and pleasure of serving during COVID, but we had no gloves, we had no mask, and what did we have to do? We had to take material for party gowns and make gloves and masks and medical gloves. So I'm so happy to be here. This is American exceptionalism at its best. John Todoroki is an absolute industrial genius. We both served our country. We are proud to be here. We are so happy to be working with the community. I have never seen such a united community effort. Your city council, your county commission, your congressmen, your senators, all working together. They're not asking are you Democrat or you Republican. No, they work together to help. And that's what we're here to do, to be a partner in the community. I want to thank President Trump for bringing his industrial strategy, reindustrializing the United States, bringing back industrialization to this country so we don't have to buy our products from people that are not our friends. So I'll be brief. Thank you very much. We're proud to be here. Go Ohio.
Robin mentioned to me that her husband normally wears a University of Miami, Florida jacket. She's got the Ohio State one. I said, well, one team was the national champions last year and not the other. So, look, just because I know the media is going to want to know some of the numbers and details, the closing on this property happened at 3 p.m. on Tuesday. I just want to process that for a second. It's barely past 3 p.m. on Friday. So Tuesday, 3 p.m. till today, what's happened? You see it here, already machinery ready to go. We mobilize a team of 45 people from their corporate headquarters to come here and have already hired, in that period of time, 60 people to come work at this facility, and there'll be many, many more. They haven't even sold one glove yet. So you can see where the opportunities are. Out of total deference to John, he said, don't set expectations too high. And I said, me, I would never do that. But look, the reality is this is going to be a very incredible, thriving business. For me, it will be a total and complete success when we exceed the employment level that was here in the past, when we see the investment level that we would never have imagined. And I also want everybody to understand that John and US Medical Glove did this without 1 cent of taxpayer dollar offered to them. No money was provided from any entity other than their own private funds to make this happen. And I think that deserves a huge round of applause. The city of Chillicothe has phenomenal first responders, firemen, police officers, and the US Medical Glove, US Paper Mill Company will be donating all of the gloves to the city for their use. So thank you to John and to the medical glove. So that's a wrap. We'll take a few extraordinarily friendly questions from the media. So the plant's open now. It opened Tuesday at 3:01 p.m. They had to do a lot of cleanup. There was evidently, again, talk to the employees, ask them what the bathrooms look like, ask them what this whole space looked like. You know, you can't have a successful business unless the people who work there have pride in their work environment. That's the big thing John's bringing here. So he's gone through the employment process of hiring 60 more people. But again, you can see what's going on here. Eventually, this will be multiple lines producing gloves. The equipment will be produced over there. Eventually the boxes that you see in front of you will be produced here. So this is a ramp up. And I want to make this clear because I think sometimes people miss the lead here. This is nothing that isn't going to happen without enormous amount of hard work. This isn't just going to be snap your fingers and everything happens magically. This requires every single person, the first 60 people hired here, John, Robin, to really dig in, and it's going to be a collective team effort to make sure that this place is successful. But look, my metric, to answer your question, my metric of total success is we've gotten through all the employment of the people that work here who want to work here. Maybe there's people who are close to retirement. And Congressman Taylor said something really important. There was a lot of people that, I'm just going to say the word, felt cheated, maybe rightfully so, out of pensions and vacation time. And John and his team is doing everything possible to restore vacation times, to restore days off that were promised. The medical benefits program is already, I'm being told, much better. We want to make everybody at least whole or better. Now, that's going to be a journey. That's not going to happen because we're here today. Congressman Taylor and myself will work tirelessly to get to that point.
How many jobs are this going to create, and can you give an idea of pay rate?
Yeah, so we are also working, so if you couldn't hear it, the question was on, so the second one first, pay range. That was also really important to me. As we vetted proposals, and there was lots and lots of proposals, and I apologize to the workers here because I know what that meant for you when you had companies visiting, and then you'd hear, oh, this company's doing this and this company's doing that. They had to visit, and I know that the last 6 months, probably that process made it excruciating. But one of the things that was critical to me was we didn't want to say, okay, we replaced 800 employees, but they're making half of what the people were making before. Like that, to me, that's not a win at all. So John and his team is working very, very hard to match or improve on the workers that he's bringing on so that nobody's going backwards in compensation. That's really, really important. So they're working very diligently. Again, also the benefits program. In terms of the number of employees, look, that's going to be dependent to a large extent on what we're able to do at the federal level to make certain that we aren't buying Chinese-made gloves for the VA, for TSA, for HHS. So we have to do, by the way, follow the law, by the way. The law says we're supposed to be doing that. Biden, unfortunately, gave enormous amounts of exemptions to these agencies, and these agencies got hooked on these exemptions. So for me, it's about making sure that we have a critical demand. But look, you can see 1,000 people working here if this place does what I think the potential is. Now, look, that's me saying. I'm not speaking for anybody from the company. I think the potential is there. When you think about this kind of equipment, which, by the way, is their design, they currently make it in Illinois. We're going to make this equipment here. The boxes, they've never done that before. They've never made their own boxes. The boxes come from Mexico. So imagine the gloves are coming from China, the boxes are coming from Mexico. All of that will be right here, a vertically integrated supply chain with stapled right here in Ohio. The chemicals, by the way, are going to be coming from Cincinnati. That starts in a couple of weeks. So this is a great deal from Ohio. I think we can make that all work.
Senator, paper is so deeply rooted in this community's identity. What would you say to the people who are a little worried about losing that, but they're still excited for this future?
Well, look, boxes are going to be made here at some point. Look, we worked really hard to see what's out there. We had the 3 largest paper companies on earth fly to Chillicothe, Ohio, to look at this place. And I don't like to say this because I don't like to look in the rearview mirror, but the people who worked here know what I'm talking about. It's like a car. If you let a car go too long without taking proper care of it, it becomes unsalvageable. Sad. It should never have come to that. There should have been intervention 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago and taken profits and said, let's reinvest and keep this place going. But that didn't happen, so here we are. But we will still, we see the name of the company, U.S. Paper Mill Company, LLC. We will be making boxes in this facility, crates in this facility. But they've, again, never done it, so we got to get that started out. But just know that there is a mission piece here, which is these gloves are taking business away from China, and you're going to be helping American citizens with gloves made with great pride here in Ohio.